Joining us now is Paige Siegel. She attended last night's event at the Capitol Jewish Museum and spoke to the suspected gunman inside the museum right after the shooting. Thank you so much, Paige, for joining us. How are you doing?
I'm all right. Thank you for having me.
Tell me a little bit about what happened last night.
Yeah, so we were at an event at the Capitol Jewish Museum. The event was about how a Palestinian organization, an Israeli organization, and a multi-faith organization have come together kind of as one organization to help people in Gaza get the aid that they need without falling into the hands of Hamas. It was a lovely night, good conversation, and at the end of it, it ended around 9 o'clock. At 9:07, I hear shots go off. But we're in DC. That's not a rare occurrence, unfortunately. But something felt so different. So the first shots go off, and about 30 seconds later, more shots go off. And I text my dad that shots go off, which I don't normally do because shots go off all the time. And I start walking to the main entrance to tell the security guard that we need to lock all the doors because the shots were so close. And as I'm doing that, a man enters into the door, like no problem. He is entering under false pretenses. He's acting as if he's almost been shot and he's scared and he's seeking shelter and safety. So the security guard lets him right in, I think as any human would. And mind you, this is an event that we had to register for in advance. There was definitely some security check on our name. We had to show our ID when we walked in. We were wanded, bag check, everything. And lots of security personnel working for the museum. So we were all checked, and he just runs in, and I, in a kind of dark mind since October 7th, I made a comment immediately to my friends, and I said, I can't believe we just let this man in. Like, we don't know who he is. What if he's the shooter? Partially joking. And so he's in there with us. I walk right up to him because he looked so frazzled. And I said, are you okay? And he's going, call the police, call the police. Yes, I'm okay. Call the police. And I said, were you shot? And he goes, no, I was not shot. Call the police, call the police. Based on our location, the police arrived very quickly. And after like a couple minutes, I think there's 2 officers inside. Everyone is like, stay inside. There's a shooter on the loose. Like, don't go outside. Let's gather like into this one area away from the windows. So the majority of us do that with the terrorist murderer amongst us. And he's just sitting on a bench. He's with us for 10, 15 minutes. I mean, acting as if he was almost just shot himself, but we now know he was essentially tweaking because he had just killed people in cold blood. And he walks, I'm sitting with 2 of my friends in the panelist chairs where the event had just happened. And he walks up to us, and because he still looked so off, one of my friends offered him a glass of water. She gets it for him. He's like, yes, please. She gets it for him, and I start unintentionally, but kind of intentionally, poke the bear, like wondering why he ran into a Jewish museum. And I say, I'm surprised they let you right in here. Like, you just ran right in. We all had to get security checked. Do you know where you are? And he either says no, or there's a pause where it's like time for me to start talking again. And I say, you're at a Jewish museum. And that immediately triggers him. And he takes like 10 steps back, and he starts screaming, I did it for Gaza, free Palestine. And then he takes out his backpack and starts to open it. And I genuinely thought we were all gonna die. Like, time froze. And he's just screaming, free Palestine, free Palestine. And I start screaming, get him out, get him out. And one police officer and one other man get him out of the building through the side door. That's the video circulating online everywhere. But yeah, he sat amongst us. And had he not tossed his gun into the bush right outside the building, who knows? He could have picked us off one by one. Did he intend to and just gets, I don't know what happened. I don't know if he had a weapon in his backpack, and that he was apprehended at the right time. Really not the right time because he killed two innocent people. Yeah, a really tragic event. My heart goes out to the victims' families. A senseless murder that didn't need to happen.
Did you know Sarah or Yaron?
I did not know them directly, but I obviously know people who knew them, and I was with people the whole night who were with them. I was with a girl who was supposed to walk out of the building with them. And I hope that girl is doing okay. I can't imagine how she's feeling.
I want to ask you a broader question. You know, you went into the Jewish Museum. I'm assuming you go into other Jewish centers or Jewish places of worship or community events. How do you feel doing that in this moment? How have you felt for the past few years?
Yeah, I mean, since October 7th, I will tell you that I don't think a single Jew has felt safe generally. It's like no one believes us, what we're saying, and that we don't feel safe. And all these calls that like Hamas supporters are making and people that don't even realize they're supporting Hamas, it's garnering, it's fueling this kind of hatred. This is what people mean by globalize the Intifada and from the river to the sea. Anti-Zionism is anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. We're scared. We've been scared. Entering any event, we feel not at ease, and there's of course a heightened fear when we enter an event like we did last night or a Jewish building like we did last night. But I think you just have to be aware of your surroundings. Obviously, the security guard thought she was doing something nice when she let him run into the building. I think anybody would have done that. So
Yeah.
you can't really blame her, but what else is she supposed to do? Like lock the door in his face and like watch him possibly get shot by another, like who we thought wasn't him? There's no right answer.
This is something I'm curious about. Maybe you can help me understand. It's the Jewish Museum in D.C. Was it advertised as an event with the Israeli embassy? Was there any reason to believe that he knew that the two victims were working for the Israeli embassy? One of them, lived in Israel. Any reason to believe that he
No.
knew that it was Israel specifically and not just Jews?
No, so two things. One, this is an event where they don't release the location until right before the event for reasons like this. As in addition to, having to pre-register and getting all of your information checked and the security checks on physically entering. The second thing I will say is that I started looking through the building's security footage because as he entered, two other women and one man entered shortly after him, as they also appeared to be like escaping gunfire from the street. So I hopped on the computer to try and be like, where did these other people go? And in doing so, I also looked at the street footage and saw him shoot the people, which was absolutely horrific and disgusting to see. But I will tell you that the way in which it happened, unless they were speaking Hebrew, the only thing that he knew is that these people exited a Jewish museum. He could not have known anything else unless he stalked the Israeli embassy staff list, which I don't know if you can. He saw them leave a Jewish museum. That's it.
Paige Siegel, thanks very much for joining us. What a horrific night, and I hope that you get the help you need to try to work through it.
Thank you for having me.
And I hope you're safe and you can stay safe. Paige, thank you again.
Thank you.